Like, this is the best duo I've ever seen in any Pokemon game. Like, what is going on? I was surprised at how well they both worked together. The thing is that, like, I always try and put up hail, specifically when I try to, like, when I Dynamax the White Kyurem, I always try and get the hail on the field, which is the only sort of slight disadvantage with Marshadow, is that since it's not per ice, it gets affected by it. Or it doesn't get something that specifically makes it so that it doesn't get affected by, like, the weather effects. So I get kind of, like, I always get that kind of, like, that sort of scare factor every time I see it, and I'm like, oh man, like, really? Like, I can't really do much against that. So I kind of just play it off, but it doesn't really matter because I gave Marshadow Dragon Punch specifically because then if it does get really weak, or I go against like a normal or ice type kind of thing, I can just let Marshadow just take care of it and then just get all that health back. So it doesn't really matter. And I literally just keep doing that over and over again, and I got, like, as I told my friend not too long ago, like, I got like over 100 pretty much on double battles, because double battles are just that easy. If you have Marshadow, White Kyurem literally just leading the front, just let them lead the front and you're good to go, because they're just that strong. Like, I barely have to worry about anything specifically with just those two mons. Pretty much send them out. The only person that has ever been able to take out both Marshadow, or not just both Marshadow, but just Marshadow only, has been Leon. During Battle Tower. Only Leon has been able to take it out. Unless I was a goof. And I misjudged when a Pokemon should be weak to something and it's not. Which is almost every time. It's weird because there are certain Pokemon types that you think you understand what they're weak to, because you look at them as both individual types, and on one type it's super effective, and in the other type it's not very effective. So you think it's neutral. It's not neutral. And you go like, wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. That's pretty much me. When I think that something is neutral, I go thinking it's neutral. And the game goes, it's not neutral. You're a goof. I don't know why you think it's neutral. And I went, okay, game. Thank you for telling me it's not neutral. I remember because there was one Pokemon, I forget what it was, where I thought it was neutral, and I went, okay, it's neutral, and I'm going to go take it down. It's not neutral. And I went, hooray, it's not neutral. And then I go down because I thought it was neutral, so I thought it was going to go down in pretty much one hit. It doesn't. And sometimes I think, like, Game Freak doesn't understand how types work. It's like those moments where you're like, it should be neutral, but it's not neutral, and you're like, okay, I don't think they understand how types work then. If something's super effective on one side, but is not very effective on the other, it should be neutral, because they counter each other. Not, it's either super effective or it's not. I don't know, that's just me. Yeah, and then I think when Isle of Armor came out, I was like, well, this is going to be easy. Like, I have a White Kyurem. And I think beginning of... was it beginning of 2020? Maybe, or late 2019, I think? No, because this was around... This was slightly before Pokemon Home came out, I think. I started going for the Dynamax dens. Right? No, this was late 2020. Wait. Oh, I don't remember. No, because I had 2 Switches and this is when I was doing it. So it would have been 2020. Wait, when did Isle of Armor come out then? Why am I thinking it came out in 2020? Oh, no, wait. No, am I wrong? Was it late 2019, actually? No, because it was... Or maybe it was 2019. I don't remember. But it was right around the time when I got my second Nintendo Switch, and I was farming for every G-Max Pokemon because I just finished Pokemon Shield on the other Switch. So I went, okay, so now that I have 2 games that have really good Pokemon, now I can do things. So I was able to go through all that nonsense with that. And I was really happy because since I was able to go through all that, it was really good. So I think the one that gave me the hardest time, and I did the whole normal strategy of changing the Nintendo Switch clock while connecting to the internet, blah blah blah, or pretty much looking for other people and then changing the Nintendo Switch clock and all that kind of stuff. Like all the normal things you're supposed to do for all that, I did it. And then I think the one that took the longest was, I think, Grimsnarl, I think? It was either Grimsnarl or something else. I was trying to get it. And the funny thing, and this was the hilarious part about it, it took, quite literally, it took, in terms of the clock kind of thing, it took 9 months for me to find Grimsnarl. One took me 9 months, another one took me, I think it was Garbodor, I think it took me 7 months, and I went, really? And there was a whole bunch of other ones that took 3-4 months. I was able to get Dreadnought pretty much early on because I was able to get it right when the Pokemon Sword and Shield event came out. And this was before I was able to before I even started playing on Shield, so I couldn't get the Corviknight event right when it came out. So I had to wait till so I got it later on. And then I don't remember how I was able to find the G-Max Pokemon. I tried on my Shield first thing because I thought that maybe Shield had a greater chance of getting it, so I went on my Pokemon Shield on my second Switch. I ended up trying to get it. I couldn't get it. So I went, okay, so that means I have to go on the lower chance on Pokemon Sword in order to get it, which is fine. I don't really care for that. I just want to, get the G-Max Corviknight. So I ended up doing all the resets and all that kind of stuff, though, blah blah blah, in order to go get the G-Max Corviknight. Who really cares? So I go, okay, this is fine. So I go and get the Corviknight on Pokemon Sword. It took 3 weeks, I think, in order for it to get it. And I'm like, what's the difference between my Sword and my Shield? They both defeated they both beat the game. And I'm like, what is the difference between both of them? So I looked into everything, and I remember that the only thing my Shield didn't do was get the gift Charmander. So I went, okay, so that's probably the difference. So I try again, but this time on my Shield, I go get the gift Charmander, and I'm like, because this one can G-Max, maybe this is the introduction to it, saying oh yeah, there are some Pokemon that can G-Max kind of thing. So I went, okay, you know what, who really cares? It can G-Max. So I go back to the same den that I know that Corviknight spawns from, or the Gmax Corviknight spawns from. So I went, okay, I'm gonna go do it again. I do it again in about 2 weeks, I think, and I find it immediately, and I went, "Are you joking?" So I went, like, there is no information online that specifically says that you need to get this Charmander before Gmaxing. Before you go Gmax hunting, grab this Charmander. If you do not, you cannot find it. Literally, I went on my shield, skipped about 3-4 months, couldn't find the Corviknight, went on my sword, looked for about three weeks, find it immediately. I didn't find the right version. I wanted Mirror Armor one, because I thought Mirror Armor was a pretty good ability. And I was really pissed when there was no information about it. I'm like, how come I can't find a Gmax Pokemon? Everybody's like, this is how you find this Gmax Pokemon. And I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for. Alright, Squirts. I have no idea why you're not a Charizard, or in this case Blastoise right away, but it's fine. You got this. I don't know, I was really angry when I heard that, and I was like, there's no reason why it should have been there. And something else that I found out, because I went through Pokemon Shield with a what do you call it? I went against Pokemon Shield with a Cinderace. And this was the first time I did this as well, so that's a little bit more of context for you guys, kind of thing. This one was only during level up moves. I barely did any raid dens. I was able to get the... Okay, well, that's kind of weird. Okay, whatever, it's fine. So I ended up going with a level 100 Cinderace during the entire event, and then I ended up finding out a little bit later on that I did not really understand the implications of not being able to go through raid dens, specifically to get certain TRs that I can end up using. Because when I went against the 4th gym on Shield, which is against Xilestar, either one of the trainers or Xilestar specifically has a Chandelure. So I was like, okay, you know what, Chandelure, I could probably take you on. I'm gonna use Pyro Ball and take you out. Has Flash Fire. I'm in trouble. So one problem is that because my Fire Starter has these 4 moves specifically. It has Pyro Ball, it has Flame Charge, it has Quick Attack, and it has Double Kick. 2 moves are useless because of the ability, and 2 are useless because it's a Ghost type. So I went, well, great then. So I can't do anything, so I had to switch. And as soon as I was able to take it out, I switched back into Cinderace, and I went, okay, so this is fine now. I can now deal with it. So I ended up being able to deal with it at that point. It was just so weird to like end up like going like, okay, I could beat the entire game with Cinderace. Not really. So I went, oh man, like I really thought I could do it. I got bricked by the 4th gym, and I was so angry about that. Oh, I got so angry. But it was fun. Throughout the rest of it, I thought it was very easy. Then I'm like, on Sword, would I have had that same brick? And I'm like, I don't think so. Because by the time you get towards the 7th gym, which would have been the only rough one at that point, you would have been fine in another way, because you would have been higher, because I still had Double Kick at that point. So yeah, I would have been fine, but like, that 4th gym, man, that 4th gym, Xilestar pretty much bricked me, and I went, no. But it was fine. Throughout the entire game, I pretty much just beat it with Cinderace. Well, against Raihan, I had to use another Pokemon, but that's it. I made sure that they did very little in terms of help. So yeah, so I'm sorry for that long ramble. It's I don't know, there's a little bit of Pokemon history about, well, at least my Pokemon history. And yeah, so that's going to be it for Pokemon Blue's first session. We're going to go through this route next session, or I might do it off screen. Who knows? And then we will take on the third, the fourth. The fourth one's going to be really difficult, but I think we should be fine as long as we keep Dig. Or we get something else to be able to take it on. And maybe even the fifth one at that point, but I think that'll be pretty much it for that session. So yeah, see you guys next time for some more Pokemon Blue.